Have you been so overwhelmed that you thought, "Ugh, I just need someone to tell me what to do"? Maybe it was a strict diet, or you needed a guru or a coach. Maybe it was the latest medication that everyone seemed to be talking about, or a supplement that promised to finally fix everything. When life feels chaotic, certainty becomes incredibly attractive. But one of Aesop's fables carries a warning that is just as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. It's called The Frogs Desiring a King. The traditional moral is be careful what you wish for, but I think there's a more important lesson hiding beneath the surface. Control is not the same as safety. And if we don't understand that distinction, we can end up surrendering our own sovereignty in exchange for the illusion of security. Welcome to Incandescent Voltage Luminous Being. My name is Tiffany, and I have been a functional medicine board certified health coach since 2017. Everything shared on this channel is for educational and reflective purposes only, and is not medical advice. You are the keeper of your own current. So please seek out medical or mental health support whenever you need it. In the fable of the frogs desiring a king, the frogs go restless and they are dissatisfied with governing themselves. Life in the pond feels uncertain and messy and without clear direction. And so they do what many of us do when uncertainty becomes too heavy to carry alone. They cry out for something greater to take the burden from them. They pray to the gods, whatever the frog gods are. They pray to the gods for a king. The first king that arrives is nothing more than a large log that gets dropped into the pond. And at first, the frogs scatter in terror, and then slowly they approach. They climb on top of it. They poke it. They push it. And the log does nothing. It doesn't govern them. It doesn't guide them. It simply floats. So they complain. They are disappointed. They demand something stronger, something with authority, something that will actually take charge. And this time, they receive a stork. The stork is everything the log was not. It was active and powerful, decisive and commanding. And one by one, it starts eating the frogs. The very thing the frogs believed would save them became the thing that consumed them. They had confused power with protection. They had confused control with safety. And I think that many of us become the frogs. When our nervous system is dysregulated, uncertainty doesn't just feel uncomfortable. It feels dangerous. And a brain in survival mode doesn't simply crave answers. It craves certainty. And that's when the thought appears, if I just had stricter rules, if I found the perfect diet, if I could finally control my body, then everything would be okay. But what we're usually seeking isn't control. We're seeking safety. And those are two profoundly different things. Traditional Chinese medicine teaches that health isn't found in extremes. It's found in balance. Yang energy gives us structure and discipline, direction, and the ability to hold a boundary. In the right proportion, it's essential. It keeps us from drifting into chaos. Yin energy gives us softness and flexibility, rest, and the capacity to receive. It's what allows us to recover, to adapt, to listen to our bodies instead of demanding from them. The healthiest life holds both in conversation with each other. It's a relationship. But when yang energy tips into excess, structure curdles into rigidity. Discipline becomes perfectionism. The boundaries designed to protect us become the walls we can't escape. Control begins masquerading as safety until the stork arrives. One of the most important things that I've learned as a health coach is this: desperation changes decision making. When someone has struggled with their weight for years, when menopause symptoms have become unbearable, when autoimmune disease has stolen their quality of life, the promise of a miracle can feel impossible to resist. And I understand that completely. When you're suffering, relief feels urgent, and urgency is not always wrong. But fear narrows our vision. Desperation shortens our timeline. And panic has a way of convincing us to make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. Urgency is not always wisdom. One of my favorite lines from storytelling is this: all magic comes with a price. I believe that's true beyond fairy tales. Every intervention carries trade-offs. Every medication, every surgery, every supplement, every restrictive diet, every protocol. That doesn't mean these things are inherently good or bad. It means they deserve thoughtful consideration rather than desperate adoption. Because what works beautifully for one person could become a lifelong burden for another. One person's miracle may be another person's permanent side effect. Every body is different. Every medical history is different. Every risk profile is different. And that means every decision deserves to be made by an informed, regulated, sovereign self, not by a frightened one. Whenever I hear excitement building around a new intervention, whether it's GLP-1 medications, hormone replacement therapy, or the latest viral wellness trend, I find myself encouraging people to slow down before they sign. Read the fine print. Understand the contract you're entering. Ask the questions that fear might rush past. What are the benefits? What are the risks? What do we know? And what do we not know yet, especially if it's new? What are the long-term consequences? What happens if I stop? Could this interact with my existing conditions? Have I first explored the lifestyle foundations that may work alongside or even before this decision? These are not fear-based questions, they're sovereignty-based questions. Because a regulated nervous system doesn't blindly reject treatment. It also doesn't blindly accept it. It becomes curious. It becomes informed. It becomes an active, engaged participant in its own care. I see the same pattern unfold with food and cravings again and again with the clients that I work with. Someone feels out of control around sugar or certain foods, and so they respond the only way that seems logical: stricter rules. But the nervous system experiences restriction as threat. The stricter the rules become, the more stressed the nervous system becomes. And the more stressed that the nervous system becomes, the louder the cravings can grow. And then we see the patterns that follow: guilt, doubling down, even stricter rules. The cycle continues not because the person lacks discipline, but because they've been trying to create safety through control. The frogs asked for a king, and they got one, but they were not very happy with the outcome. The frogs thought they needed a king, but maybe what they actually needed was confidence in governing themselves. Many of us are searching for external authority because we lost trust in our own discernment. We've been taught by diet culture, by medical systems, by social media, that someone else always knows better. Someone else has the answer. Someone else will save us. But healing asks something different of us. It asks us to become active participants, to ask better questions, to listen to the body we actually live in, to work with trusted professionals while remaining genuinely engaged in our own decisions, not outsourcing our judgment, but rather strengthening it. Real regulation isn't found in chaos, but it isn't found in rigidity either. It lives in the space between, in gentle structure and thoughtful flexibility held together. Clear boundaries that leave the room for being human, in the ability to pause before reacting, to breathe before deciding, and to gather information before the signing of the contract. The question isn't whether every choice comes with a cost. Every choice does. The question is whether we're consciously choosing the one we're willing to pay. The frogs weren't destroyed because they wanted leadership. They were destroyed because fear convinced them to surrender discernment. So the next time you feel desperate for certainty, pause. Take a breath. Regulate first. And then ask yourself very honestly, who is making this decision right now? My regulated, thoughtful self or my frightened, desperate self? Because the opposite of chaos isn't control, it's wisdom. And wisdom grows best inside a nervous system that finally feels safe. Before we close, I want to let you know that in the community tab tomorrow, I will have some reflective questions there for you. You can use those for journaling or contemplation. You can use them in your next therapy or counseling appointment for a deeper conversation if that would feel supportive for you. And just remember, simply making the space for the questions themselves without having immediate answers, sometimes that can be where the healing can start. Thank you for choosing to spend this time with me today, Luminous Being. If something in this conversation really resonated with you, please let me know in the comments below. How did this shift the way you view yourself, your body, your current season of life? What kind of self-awareness came from listening today? And if any of these words really meant something to you, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone else who may really need to hear these words. If you would like to go deeper, located below in the description, there is a link for my free 5-day email course. This is where ancient wisdom meets modern science. And this is I developed it specifically, no matter what your journey looks like, to be supportive for your own health, nervous system, or wellness journey. And with that, until next time, remember, heal only at the speed of safety.